David here with Figboot on Pens, back with another review. Today I don't have a pen to share with you. What I have is a nib. It's a brand new offering from the Japanese brand Wancher and is called the Keiryu Nib. What I'm going to do today is give you a close-up look at this specialty nib and perform a writing sample. The nib has been designed and ground by Wancher's nibmeister, Mr. Nagahara. Mr. Nagahara might be left-handed since he's wearing a watch on his right hand. That has nothing to do with his ability to grind nibs, but just an observation. By the company's description, the nib is designed to write medium to large letters and is more about strokes and flow rather than the precision you will find with something like a fine or an extra fine nib. I would compare this nib to an architect grind if you are familiar with those. It's fairly similar. There are many different types of architect grinds, and I feel it's fair to say that this is Wancher's take on that specific specialty grind. If you're not familiar with an architect grind, stay tuned here for a minute and you will see what one can do. They say that it's good for writing kanji, which are the characters adapted from Chinese script used in the writing of Japanese. I have never really tried to write kanji before, but I have been practicing, so I will try some out here in the writing sample. Thanks go out to the good folks at Wancher for providing this nib for review. I've installed it on one of my favorite Wancher models. In order to see what pen that is, and to see what this nib can do, and to laugh at my beginner kanji skills, please join me over here at camera 2. Okay, here is a number of Wancher pens, and you can see that a number of them are in the kind of the dream pen category as far as the size, and then we have some other ones here, and I have loaded this Keiryu Nib in my favorite one, so maybe you can kind of guess which is my favorite of this bunch. We have the Keiryu Urushi, which has an actual leaf on it and some urushi. There is the Sagai Sugaru, which just has some really cool urushi technique on there. There is this is the Japan Blue, which has some hammered metal, which is really great as well. Or maybe it's one of the other ones. What do you think? Well, it is on the Keiryu Urushi, which is my favorite one. I just love this. It's just a really nice urushi technique on here, and then just the fact that it's a real leaf that is imprinted on here is just amazing. Okay, let's get a closer look at this nib. Let's see how close I can get here with the camera. That the main purpose of this nib is basically the opposite of a stub nib. On the stub, the nib produces a thicker line on the downstrokes and a thinner line on the side strokes. For this nib, it's flipped around. The broad strokes are on the side ones and the thinner line is produced on the downstroke. And it just looks nice as well. So let's see what it looks like in a standard writing sample. So the pen we have here is the Wancher, and the pen is the Keiryu Urushi. And this is the Keiryu Nib. The ink I'm using today is one that I've grown really fond of, which is Color Traveler. Shimanami Blue. This is what the ink looks like. It's a nice like emerald blue. It's not quite as dark as something like Leonardo Smeraldo or Stilo and Stile's Roman Bronze Oxidation, but they're both some of my favorites. So it's just a little bit lighter than that. This is what the bottle looks like. I just like that it has a wide mouth and it's rather deep, so it's easy to get any nib in there. Okay, and let's just do a standard writing sample. So you'll see with this particular nib, you're going to get thin lines when you go up and down, and then you're going to get broader lines when you go side to side. You're not going to get a lot of flex on this because when you flex it, it's kind of going counterintuitive. The ink flow on this pen is decent on this nib. In regard to reverse writing, you can do it a little bit. But it's not really what this nib is designed to do. And then in regard to some fast writing, it has just a fair amount of decent feedback. I wouldn't say it's glossy smooth, but it just has the right amount of feedback to let you know you're writing with a fountain pen. And the feed keeps up very well. Now, if you would care for an even finer nib, there is a variation of this nib called the Kodachi. You could see here, as a comparison to the Keiryu, the Kodachi nib does include a bit of a wait time, several weeks, I believe. Okay, I promised you some kanji, so let's go ahead and get to that. And so I thought we would start by doing just the numbers. So to start off with, we have the number 1. Which is this right here, and this is Ichi, I-C-H-I, and that is 1. And then the next number we have is 2, which is Ni, which is a smaller one, and then a larger one, and this is Ni. And then next we have San, which is a longer one, and then a shorter, and then a longer one, actually a little bit longer. And this is San, which is 3. Then we have Yon, which is, we go up, over that, and then like this, and then over like that, and that. And this is Yon. And that is 4. So then next up we have Go, which is, let's see here, Go, we go over like this and down and like this and maybe a little bit more there. And this is Go, which is 5. And let's go ahead and give ourselves a little bit more space. The next one, obviously, would be number 6. And so we have, let's see, we have there. That's a little sloppy up top. This is Roku. Oh, I forgot to mention that there's also a different word for 4, which is Shi. But that isn't used as much because it's a homophone for the Japanese word for death. And so that's why the number 4 can seem like sometimes is considered an unlucky number because it also had the word for death in it. But we have Roku, which is 6. Then we have Nana, which is 7. Then we have Hachi, which is Hachi, H-A-C-H-I, which is 8. Then we have Q. You know what? I got that. And this should be more curled. That was a poor rendering of Q, which is 9. And then we have there, which is Ju, which is 10. So there you have some remedial kanji. While this nib will be available as an option on most Wancher pens, it is considered to be a specialty nib, so it comes at an additional cost of $50, which isn't out of the line for a specialty grind. Wancher has a large number of quality pen offerings, many of which I've been able to review on this channel. If you're looking for what I would describe as an entry-level Urushi offering in regard to price, Wancher has a number of pens which fit that description. They also have more expensive pens out there, so it is well worth checking out. Okay, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.